Let's be honest. You think you know English, but can you pass a test meant for 12-year-olds? We're taking questions from beginner to intermediate level, and trust me, even fluent speakers are failing. What is your English level? Beginner, intermediate, and advanced, so get ready. I am going to check your English level. Hello, my name is Nobody. Let me tell you what we are going to do. There will be 3 levels of the English: beginner, intermediate, advanced. Each level have 20 questions. I will show you the question. You will have 5 seconds to answer. If you need more time, you can pause the video and then start it. Let's start the video. Here is first beginner question 1. What your name? The right answer is. Let's move on to the next question. She from Spain? The right answer is. Let's move on to the next question. I a student? The right answer is M. Let's move on to the next question. They playing football? The right answer is R. Let's move on to the next question. I have 2. The right answer is books. Let's move on to the next question. You like coffee? The right answer is do. Let's move on to the next question. He have a car? The right answer is doesn't. Let's move on to the next question. I go to school on Sundays. The right answer is don't. Let's move on to the next question. This is book. The right answer is my. Let's move on to the next question. The cat is the table. The right answer is under. Let's move on to the next question. We English every day. The right answer is study. Let's move on to the next question. She tea in the morning. The right answer is drinks. Let's move on to the next question. My dad a doctor? The right answer is. Let's move on to the next question. It rain often in April? The right answer is does. Let's move on to the next question. The apples are the basket. The right answer is in. Let's move on to the next question. You going to the party? The right answer is are. Let's move on to the next question. Where you live? The right answer is do. Let's move on to the next question. We happy today? The right answer is are. Let's move on to the next question. There are 3 cats in the room. The right answer is are. Let's move on to the next question. She TV every evening. The right answer is watches. How many of your questions were correct and how many were wrong? Do tell me in the comments. Let's move on the next stage. Hope you clear this one very well. It will be little harder than last. Let's begin. Questions number 1. If I early, I catch the bus. The right answer is get. Let's move on to the next question. They already seen the movie. The right answer is have. Let's move on to the next question. She to Paris last year. The right answer is went. Let's move on to the next question. I've been living here 5 years. The right answer is 4. Let's move on to the next question. He speaks English better his brother. The right answer is than. Let's move on to the next question. I dinner when she called. The right answer is was cooking. Let's move on to the next question. She said she come to the party. The right answer is would. Let's move on to the next question. I come in? The right answer is may. Let's move on to the next question. I wish I more time. The right answer is had. Let's move on to the next question. The book was interesting. The right answer is very. Let's move on to the next question. He works than before. The right answer is harder. Let's move on to the next question. She is tired working all day. The right answer is from. Let's move on to the next question. The meeting by 5 p.m. The right answer is will end. Let's move on to the next question. He asked me I like pizza. The right answer is if. Let's move on to the next question. This house in 1990. The right answer is was built. Let's move on to the next question. She's the girl dog won the prize. The right answer is whose. Let's move on to the next question. You should your homework. The right answer is do. Let's move on to the next question. I enjoy music. The right answer is listening to. Let's move on to the next question. It's important exercise daily. The right answer is to. Let's move on to the next question. Let's wait until he. The right answer is arrives. That was the second easy part. Now we gonna take it little more harder. Let's begin. Questions number 1. Had I known, I'd come earlier. The right answer is would have. Let's move on to the next question. He talks as if he. Everything. The right answer is knew. Let's move on to the next question. No sooner had I arrived, it started raining. The right answer is than. Let's move on to the next question. Not only, but also polite. The right answer is he clever? Let's move on to the next question. It's high time she. To bed. The right answer is went. Let's move on to the next question. Scarcely had he finished. The phone rang. The right answer is when. Let's move on to the next question. He suggested that she, earlier. The right answer is arrive. Let's move on to the next question. Where are you? I not do that. The right answer is would. Let's move on to the next question. She would rather you. The truth. The right answer is told. Let's move on to the next question. Neither the teacher nor the students. Ready. The right answer is. Let's move on to the next question. I'd rather. At home tonight. The right answer is stay. Let's move on to the next question. The more you read, you learn. The right answer is the more. Let's move on to the next question. It is essential that she on time. The right answer is B. Let's move on to the next question. If only I the answer. The right answer is I knew. Let's move on to the next question. I wish he. Me the truth earlier. The right answer is had told. Let's move on to the next question. Seldom. Such beauty. The right answer is have I seen. Let's move on to the next question. Hardly. At the station when the train left. The right answer is had I arrived. Let's move on to the next question. I'm used to. Early. The right answer is waking up. Let's move on to the next question. Were it not for your help, I lost. The right answer is would be. Let's move on to the next question. He is said a genius. The right answer is to be.